The first thing I heard at 6:18 Saturday morning was glass breaking. The second thing I heard was my 9-year-old daughter Emma yelling, "Mom?" I was out of bed before my brain caught up. "Stay upstairs," I called. "But Bruno!" "Emma, upstairs." I reached the living room and stopped. One lamp was on the floor. Soil from a knocked-over plant covered the rug. A dining chair was tipped sideways, and my sister's 3 dogs were running laps around my couch like they had just won parole. Bruno was a 90-pound German Shepherd mix. Diesel was some kind of husky lab tornado. Poppy was a beagle who could apparently open cabinets. I knew that last part because she had a bag of flour stuck around her head. "Seriously?" Bruno barked. Diesel jumped on the couch. Poppy sneezed flour everywhere. My mouth went dry. On the kitchen counter sat the note my sister Tara had left 11 weeks earlier. "Thanks again, just the weekend. I owe you." That weekend had started May 8th. It was now July 25th. I called her. Voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. Then I texted. Me, 6:24 a.m. "Your dogs just broke another lamp. You need to pick them up today." 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. At 6:31, she replied, "Tara, can't. We're at the lake." I stared at the screen. Me, "You said 2 days. It has been almost 3 months." Tara, "They're part of the family, Claire. Stop acting like they're strangers." Behind me, Diesel jumped against the sliding door hard enough to rattle the glass. Emma appeared halfway down the stairs in her pajamas. She didn't come farther. That bothered me more than the broken lamp. She used to run into the living room every morning. Now she checked where the dogs were first. "Tara," I said when she finally answered. She sighed. "What?" "You need to collect them." "Oh my God, again?" "Yes, again. They're dogs. They've destroyed my house." "You're being dramatic." "I have the invoices." "What invoices?" "The carpet cleaner, the drywall repair, the couch, the garden fence, the bedroom door Bruno scratched through." She laughed. Actually laughed. "You own a house. Stuff breaks." "They caused $9,087 in damage." "Claire, listen to yourself." "I am." "Families help each other." There it was, her favorite sentence. Families help each other. Usually right before I was expected to absorb a problem she created. Then she said, in that calm, reasonable voice she used whenever she wanted cruelty to sound mature, "They're part of the family." I looked at Emma. She had both sleeves pulled over her hands. "All right," I said. Tara paused. "What?" "All right." She sounded relieved. "Thank you, finally." I ended the call. I didn't scream. I opened my laptop and searched for the most expensive long-term boarding facility within 30 miles. I'm Claire Vardy. I'm 36, divorced, and I work as a payroll manager for a construction company in Columbus, Ohio. My daughter Emma is 9. Our house is not fancy. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom upstairs, a small fenced yard. Mortgage, $1,746 a month. I know that number because I budget down to the dollar. Tara does not. Tara is 32 and has spent most of her adult life moving through emergencies she somehow expects other people to fund. When she was 26, she called me at 11:40 p.m. "My electricity's getting shut off." "How much?" $400. It was $687. I paid it. 2 years later, she needed a couple weeks in my guest room after a breakup. She stayed 4 months. When she left, I found 3 unpaid parking tickets in my name because she had been using my address. Then, last Christmas, she asked me to store some boxes. 23 boxes arrived, plus a treadmill, plus 2 bicycles, plus a broken dresser. Our family called this being flexible. Mom's word was smooth. Just keep things smooth with Tara. Dad preferred, you know how your sister is. Tara used family helps. For years, I translated all 3 sentences the same way. Claire will handle it. The dogs started the same way. Tara called on a Thursday. Tiny favor. I should have hung up immediately. What? Mark surprised me with a weekend at Hocking Hills. Mark was her boyfriend of 7 months. Okay. The Airbnb doesn't allow pets. No. She laughed. I haven't even asked. You're about to. It's 2 nights. Tara. Friday through Sunday. I'll bring food. They'll mostly sleep. That was a lie. Bruno had no leash training. Diesel jumped on people. Poppy ate anything she could reach. I had told Tara before that Emma was nervous around Bruno because he had knocked her down at a barbecue. It's 48 hours, Tara said. Emma was beside me doing homework. She heard the conversation. Please? I should have said no. Instead, I swallowed it. Sunday by 6. Promise! Friday at 4:12 p.m., Tara pulled into my driveway. She unloaded 3 dogs, 2 food bags, 1 leash, and 0 crates. Where are their beds? They'll use blankets. 3 dogs share 1 leash? They listen. Diesel immediately ran through my flower bed. Tara, relax. Sunday at 6 came, then 7. At 8:03, I texted. Me. Where are you? Tara. Staying 1 more night. Monday became Wednesday. Wednesday became, Mark's apartment is getting inspected. Then, his landlord changed the rules. Then, we're looking for a pet-friendly place. At the end of May, I told her this had gone too far. She came over without taking the dogs. She stood in my kitchen drinking my coffee. Just another week. No. Claire. No. You have a yard. That doesn't make me a kennel. She rolled her eyes. Emma was coloring at the table. Bruno came up behind her and shoved his nose against her elbow. Her crayon jumped across the page. Emma immediately tucked both arms against her stomach. Sorry, she whispered. She apologized, to the dog. That stayed with me. Later that night, I asked her why. She shrugged. If I don't bother them, they don't get excited. That was the moment I realized my daughter had started learning to shrink inside her own home. I thought the arrangement was temporary. It wasn't. By June, my house smelled like enzyme cleaner. The backyard had 3 bare dirt tracks where grass used to be. Diesel chewed the corner off my sectional. Bruno scratched through the paint and drywall beside the back door. Poppy got into the pantry and ate half a bag of dog treats, a loaf of bread, and 1 of Emma's school cupcakes. I started taking pictures. June 3rd, torn couch seam. June 9th, broken screen door. June 14th, urine stain on upstairs carpet. June 22nd, damaged fence panel. July 1st, scratched bedroom door. I made a folder on my phone. Tara, dogs, damage. Then I made a spreadsheet. Repair estimate, receipt, photo, date, cause. My job involves reconciling payroll discrepancies for 140 employees. Documentation is basically my love language. The total crossed $5,000, then $7,000. Then the dogs destroyed the hallway carpet after Poppy got sick while I was at work. Replacement estimate, $1,860. Total, $9,087. I sent Tara the spreadsheet. She called within 2 minutes. You seriously made a spreadsheet? Yes. That is psychotic. It's accurate. You expect me to pay $9,000? I expect you to remove your dogs. I told you we're figuring it out. Give me a date. Silence. Tara, what date? I don't know. Monday? No. August 1st? Claire, stop interrogating me. When are you taking your dogs? We're figuring it out. That isn't a date. Then she switched strategies. Mom called. You're upsetting Tara. She abandoned 3 dogs at my house. She did not abandon them. She hasn't slept in the same building as them since May. Temporary situations happen. Mom, Emma is scared to go downstairs alone. Oh, Claire. That tone, the one that meant I had failed some invisible test by describing reality. They're sweet dogs. You don't have to live with them. We would take them if Dad's allergies weren't so bad. Convenient. Then Dad called. Then Mark texted. Then Tara sent me a paragraph about how difficult the rental market was. Nobody gave me a pickup date. So I stopped asking emotionally and started asking specific questions. Me. What is the address where you currently live? No response. Me. Does your lease allow dogs? No response. Me. What date will you retrieve Bruno, Diesel, and Poppy? No response. 20 minutes later. Tara. Why are you acting like a lawyer? Because normal sister language had gotten me nowhere. On July 18th, Bruno knocked Emma down again. He wasn't attacking her. That almost made it worse. He was just huge, excited, untrained, and completely uncontrolled. Emma hit her shoulder against the cabinet. She didn't cry. She stood up quickly and said, "I'm okay." I took her to urgent care anyway. Bruised shoulder, $145 copay. That night, I called Tara. Emma got hurt. Oh my God, is she okay? She's bruised. See? Bruised, not injured. I went quiet. Tara kept talking. Claire, you cannot blame every little thing on the dogs. I need you to answer one question. What? Where should I bring them tomorrow? Silence. Then she laughed. You're not bringing 3 dogs to my apartment. So you admit you have an apartment? That's not what I meant. Address? No. Then give me another location. Stop being crazy. You have until Friday. Or what? I looked at my receipts folder. The vet records Tara had left with me listed her as owner. Her full legal name, her phone number, her old mailing address, which was still her parents' house. I had screenshots proving she repeatedly acknowledged the dogs were hers. I had messages where she promised to retrieve them. I had the original text saying 2 nights. I had 81 days of extensions. That's when I stopped arguing and started documenting. The pet hotel was called Northwood Canine Resort. Calling it a kennel would have been insulting. Private indoor suites, climate control, daily walks, play sessions, webcams, grooming, medication administration. For an additional fee, they offered enrichment packages. I laughed when I read that. Then I selected one. I called first. My sister is the legal owner of 3 dogs currently in my care. She has refused to retrieve them. I need to arrange boarding while ownership is documented. The manager, Denise, did not sound shocked. Apparently, family pet dumping is less original than Tara believed. Do you have owner information? Yes. Vaccination records? Yes. Written acknowledgement that they belong to her? A lot. Bring everything. Friday morning, I loaded the dogs into my SUV. Emma stood by the front door. Are they coming back? No. She looked at me for 3 full seconds, then her shoulders dropped. Okay. Northwood checked the records. They scanned Tara's driver's license copy from the veterinary authorization form she had once emailed me. They called the numbers on file. Tara didn't answer. They documented everything. I paid an initial intake deposit because I was the person physically dropping them off. $450. Then I emailed Tara. Subject: location of Bruno, Diesel, and Poppy. I kept it short. Your dogs are now boarded at Northwood Canine Resort. The facility has your ownership records and contact information. I will not provide further boarding or care at my residence. She called 43 seconds later. What did you do? I told you in writing. You put my dogs in a kennel? A boarding facility. Go get them. No. Claire, no. You can't do this. You can retrieve them. I told you I can't have them at the apartment. Then arrange housing for them. You need to fix this. I already did. That was my boundary. One sentence. I will not provide further boarding or care at my residence. She screamed after that. I lowered the volume. That evening, Mom showed up at my front door. Then Dad, then Tara. I didn't open it. Tara pounded hard enough to shake the frame. You stole my dogs, I spoke through the door. They are at Northwood. You abandoned them. They have your information. You're paying for this. No. Mom shouted, Claire, open the door. We are family. Emma was sitting on the stairs behind me. I turned. She was watching, so I kept my voice normal. I'm not discussing this at my door. Tara kicked it once. I called the non-emergency police number. An officer arrived 12 minutes later. Tara immediately changed voices. Calm, hurt, reasonable. My sister is holding my animals hostage. The officer looked at me. Are the dogs here? No. Where are they? I gave him the boarding address. He looked at Tara. Then they're not being held hostage. Tara's face changed. I handed him printed screenshots. The officer read the first page. So these are your dogs? Yes. And she told you repeatedly to pick them up? Tara crossed her arms. It's complicated. He looked back at the paper. Since May? Nobody spoke. That was the devastating part. Not yelling, just an officer reading a date. I requested an incident number for the door kicking and confrontation. Then I changed the locks the next morning because Tara had once had a spare key. I changed the garage code. I removed her from Emma's school pickup list, and I sent one message to the family group chat. Do not bring animals, belongings, or people to my home without written permission. Tara's dogs are her responsibility. This is not open for discussion. Then I muted the chat. The house became quiet in stages. First, no barking at 5:30 a.m. Then, no claws against the hardwood. Then, no baby gates, no bowls in the kitchen, no smell. I hired a contractor. Drywall, $640. Fence, $1,175. Carpet, $2,240. Sectional replacement, $2,899. Cleaning, screens, doors, paint, landscaping. Final documented damage, $9,087. I kept every receipt. Emma started sitting on the living room floor again. That sounds small. It wasn't. One Saturday, she built an entire Lego city across the rug and left it there while she went to get juice. She didn't scan the room first. She didn't pick everything up so a dog couldn't eat it. She just walked away. I stood in the kitchen watching her and realized how much tension I had allowed into our home because I was scared of being called selfish. 2 months later, Tara called from a new number. Did you know Northwood sent the account to collections? Yes. You knew? I knew you had an unpaid boarding account. She sounded like she was choking. $11,500. I said nothing. They want $11,500, Claire. I heard you. For dogs. Your dogs. This is because of you. No, the amount is because they remained there. You could have picked them up. So could you. Silence. Then she tried the old sentence. Their family. I almost laughed. Instead, I said, then you should have taken responsibility for them. She started crying, real crying this time. She told me the charges had damaged her credit. She said Mark was furious. She said Mom and Dad thought I should pay half, then all of it, then at least help. I asked one question. Are the dogs safe? She hesitated. Yes. Tara had finally arranged for Bruno to stay with Mark's brother. Poppy went to an aunt. Diesel was living with Tara after she moved into a pet-friendly townhouse. Amazing what became possible once the consequences had her name on them. A week later, Mom brought a cake to my house. No joke, chocolate, my favorite. She stood on the porch holding it like frosting was mediation. We need to move forward. I have. You know what I mean. I do. Tara made mistakes. Yes. But $11,500 is life-changing money. So was $9,087 in damage. Mom looked irritated. You always have to make everything transactional. I nearly admired that sentence, because Tara leaving 3 dogs with me for 81 days was family. Me paying for damage was family. Emma getting knocked over was an accident. But the second Tara got an invoice, suddenly money was sacred. Mom held out the cake. Can we just cool down? No. Claire, I'm not angry. That confused her. I think she needed me angry. Angry people can be dismissed. Angry people can be told to calm down. I wasn't angry anymore. I was finished. I'm not paying Tara's bill, I said. She is not getting a key to this house. She is not leaving animals here again. And nobody comes over to pressure Emma or me about it. Mom stared at me. You'd really choose this over your sister? No, I said. Tara made her choices. I'm choosing my home. I closed the door. The cake stayed with her. People in my family still tell the story like I sent Tara's dogs to some luxury prison out of spite. That isn't what happened. For nearly 3 months, I fed them, walked them, cleaned up after them, repaired what they destroyed, and repeatedly gave their owner opportunities to take responsibility. Then my daughter started shrinking inside her own house. That was the line. The lesson wasn't that expensive consequences teach people better than arguments. Sometimes they do. The lesson was simpler. Help that cannot be refused is not help anymore. Family does not mean permanent access to my money, my labor, my home, or my child's sense of safety. Tara can love her dogs. Mom can defend her. Everyone can think I was too harsh. The dogs are safe. Emma is safe. My house is quiet. And if anyone ever arrives at my door again with a tiny favor that requires me to surrender my home until they feel like taking responsibility, my answer is already decided.